Have you ever wondered why poker, a seemingly game of luck, has players who consistently win over the long run? Welcome to the enigma of poker, a world where the flip of a card can change fortunes, yet a sphere where skill, strategy, and understanding play a pivotal role. Many perceive poker as a game of pure chance, where destiny holds the reins. But delve a little deeper, and you'll uncover a realm where numbers, psychology, and human behavior interweave to create a fascinating tapestry of decision-making. Poker, you see, is more than just a game. It's a dance of probabilities and psychology. It's a battle of wits shrouded in the illusion of luck. It's about knowing when to hold 'em, when to fold 'em, and when to walk away. Every card dealt, every bet made, carries with it a probability. A successful poker player doesn't just play the cards, they play the odds. They calculate, evaluate, and take calculated risks. They understand that while the turn of a card is unpredictable, the probabilities aren't. They are constant, unchanging, and there to be used to one's advantage. But poker isn't just a numbers game, it's also a game of minds. It's about outwitting your opponents, understanding their strategies, their tells, their fears, and their ambitions. It's about using psychology to your advantage, reading people as well as you read the cards. This is the enigma of poker. It's a game where luck and skill intertwine, where the roll of the dice is just one part of the story. It's a game that rewards those who understand its intricacies, who take the time to study its depths, who respect its complexities. And so, as we begin our journey into the heart of this enigma, remember this: it's not just the cards you're dealt, it's how you play them. Now let's dive deeper into this fascinating realm of poker theory. Poker, at its core, is a game of managing uncertainty. But how? Well, let's dive into the fascinating world of probability. This invisible yet omnipresent force is constantly at play in every hand of poker. It's an art, a science, and a skill that poker players must master to tip the scales of victory in their favor. Imagine you're in a poker game. You've got a decent hand, but should you bet, raise, or fold? This is where probability comes into play. Understanding the potential outcomes and their likelihood can influence your decision. Let's start with pot odds. This is the ratio of the current size of the pot to the cost of a contemplated call. It's about weighing the risk and reward. If the pot odds are greater than the odds of completing your hand, then it's a good call. If not, then maybe it's time to fold. Next, we have expected value, a concept that goes hand in hand with pot odds. It's a measure of what you can expect to win, on average, from each bet. If the expected value is positive, it means you stand to gain in the long run. If it's negative, well, you get the picture. Lastly, there's variance. The cruel mistress of poker. Variance is the statistical measure of how much your results can deviate from the expected value. High variance means the outcomes are spread out. You could win big or lose big. Low variance means the results are more predictable, but the wins are smaller. So, why is understanding probability crucial in poker? It's because poker isn't just about the cards you're dealt, but how you play them. It's about making informed decisions under pressure, managing risk, and maximizing reward. Mastering the art of probability is only one side of the poker coin. There's another equally important aspect to consider. What if I told you that poker is as much a mind game as it is a card game? Yes, you heard it right. The fascinating world of poker goes well beyond the deck of cards and dives deep into the human psyche. Let's start with bluffing, one of the most intriguing aspects of poker. It's not merely about fooling your opponents into thinking you have a strong hand when you don't. It's a calculated risk, a strategic move made after studying your opponents. It's about projecting confidence, manipulating perceptions, and turning the tables even when the odds are stacked against you. Now let's talk about reading opponents. At the poker table, every gesture, every hesitation, every smirk could be a tell. An unintentional signal about the strength of a player's hand. Skilled players become experts in reading these tells, deciphering the subtlest of signals. But remember, it's not just about reading others, it's also about concealing your own tells. It's a dance of deception and detection that makes poker so captivating. But what about managing your own emotions? Poker can be a roller coaster ride of thrill, frustration, anxiety, and elation. The key to success lies in mastering your emotions, not letting the highs and lows affect your decision-making process. It's about maintaining a poker face, literally and figuratively, regardless of whether you're holding a royal flush or a pair of twos. Understanding human behavior can indeed give a player an edge in poker. If you can predict your opponent's next move or reaction, you're already one step ahead. It's like playing chess, but instead of moving pieces on a board, you're navigating through human emotions and reactions. So, we see that poker is not just about the cards in your hand, but also the minds at the table. But how does one bring these elements together? Well, that's a question we'll dive into in the next segment. Stay tuned. So we've mastered the art of probability and delved into the psychology of poker. What next? Now, let's turn our attention to the strategic aspect of poker. This is where the game truly begins to take shape, where the interplay of odds and mind games coalesce into a grand plan. A player's strategy is their blueprint for success, their roadmap to victory. Every poker player, from the greenest novice to the most seasoned pro, develops a game plan based on their understanding of probabilities and psychology. It's their individual way of interpreting the game's many variables and leveraging them to their advantage. But what does this strategy look like? Well, it can take many forms, but let's focus on two of the most fundamental aspects: aggressive and passive play. Aggressive play, as the name suggests, is all about taking the initiative. It's about making bold bets, raising stakes, and putting pressure on your opponents. It's a strategy that thrives on uncertainty and exploits the fear of loss. But like a double-edged sword, it can also backfire spectacularly if not handled with care. On the other hand, passive play is about patience and observation. It's about letting your opponents make the first move, giving you the chance to react and adapt. It's a strategy that values information over immediate gains, and it's perfect for those who prefer a more calculated, measured approach to the game. And then there's the role of position at the poker table. The order in which you act in a round of betting can have a significant impact on your strategy. Acting last gives you the advantage of seeing everyone else's decisions before making your own, allowing you to adjust your strategy accordingly. But acting first forces you to make decisions with less information, making it a more challenging but potentially more rewarding position. Clearly, poker is a game of strategy, where every decision made is a calculated risk. It's a game that demands not just a keen understanding of the odds, but also a well-thought-out plan of action. So, the next time you sit at a poker table, remember, it's not just a game of cards, it's a game of strategy. All these elements of poker theory culminate in one goal: mastery of the game. In the world of poker, the ones who consistently succeed are those who have mastered the intricate dance of probabilities, psychology, and strategy. As we've explored in the previous scenes, poker is much more than just a game of chance. It's a game of skill, where your understanding of the theory can be the difference between a win and a loss. The mastery of poker is akin to the mastery of a musical instrument. It's not about being lucky enough to hit the right notes, but about understanding the music and knowing how to create harmony amidst the chaos. Just like a musician, a poker master knows the theory, understands the nuances, and is continually learning and evolving. The importance of understanding probabilities cannot be overstated. It's like the compass that guides you, helping you make informed decisions based on the likelihood of certain hands. But it's not just about the numbers, it's about being able to interpret those numbers in the context of the game. Psychology, too, plays a critical role. It's about reading your opponents, understanding their tactics, and using that knowledge to your advantage. It's about being able to bluff convincingly, to keep your opponents guessing, and to maintain your composure under pressure. Strategy is where the magic happens. It's where you take your understanding of probabilities and your insights into psychology and weave them together into a winning game plan. It's about knowing when to fold, when to call, and when to raise. It's about playing the long game, thinking several moves ahead and adapting your strategy as the game evolves. But remember, poker mastery is not a destination but a journey. It's about continuous learning, constant improvement, and relentless pursuit of knowledge. It's about studying the game, learning from your mistakes, and never losing the hunger to get better. Poker is a game of skill, strategy, and mind. And with a deep understanding of poker theory, you too can become a master of this enigmatic game.